You might have seen scary videos before, but not like this. People fighting with invisible forces, laughing one second and screaming the next. The way they move doesn't even look human. What's really happening here? Spiritual, psychological, or supernatural?
Father, pakitignan lang po.
Jane, are you okay?
Watch and decide. While some might have taken it as a joke, it was hard to ignore the unsettling nature of the clip. The man danced playfully, but his expression didn't match his movements at all. His eyes were wide, almost bulging, and there was a wild, unhinged look on his face. Many believed he was mentally unstable, but others claimed he was possessed by something dark, something evil. Dark benediction. This shocking footage had everyone on the internet talking. It showed the Pope placing both hands on the head of a man sitting in a wheelchair. The moment he did, the man reacted in a chilling way. His eyes rolled back and his mouth opened wide, as if locked in a silent scream of pain. Then, just as suddenly, he returned to normal when the Pope withdrew his hands. Viewers were divided in their beliefs. Some claimed the man had been possessed by a demon unwilling to leave, while others were convinced he was something darker, an evil spirit disguised in human form. Shore stranger. Beachgoers were enjoying their vacation on the sunny shores of Acapulco, Mexico, when something eerie unfolded. A strange man suddenly crawled out of the sea, dressed entirely in white, dripping wet, and moving as if dazed. Witnesses claimed he hadn't been there before, and his slow, deliberate movements made the whole scene even stranger. His pale clothing and blank expression gave the impression of someone lost, or something else entirely. Some believed he was the ghost of a drowned sailor, cursed to return to shore again and again. Others whispered he might be a sea deity, caught off guard in human form. Whatever he was, his sudden arrival left everyone speechless. Alien dancer. People had been talking about alien species landing on Earth, and if you didn't know why, this clip was the reason. A strange figure was seen dancing, but it wasn't quite human, with bright blue skin, a lean, almost elastic build, and sharp fangs visible in its mouth. The sight was eerie. Many were convinced it was an extraterrestrial caught on camera, while skeptics argued it was just an elaborate cosplay. Still, what unsettled most viewers wasn't the appearance, but the movement. There was something off about the figure's rhythm. Unsettling appeal. You don't need to ask why this footage creeped people out. A man filmed himself in a car, addressing Elon Musk, saying he desperately wanted to meet him. But it wasn't just what he said, it was how he looked. His face twisted into strange, unsettling expressions, his features oddly brutish, like someone from another time. Viewers were instantly disturbed, some saying his energy felt unstable, others convinced he wasn't entirely human. The eerie tone of his voice and his intense stare made the video almost unbearable to watch. And honestly, just imagine running into someone like that alone, late at night. That thought alone is enough to send chills down your spine. Haunted doll. This one gave me full-body chills. A clip from a village in Africa started making rounds online. Looked like some kind of ritual. Folks were dancing and chanting around this creepy-looking doll. And I mean creepy. But that wasn't the weird part. They started feeding it. Yeah, real food. And the doll's mouth? It moved, like it was chewing. People watching were shaken. No strings, no wires. It just moved. Some claimed the spell worked, that a spirit had entered the doll. Others weren't ready to go there and called it clever trickery. But I don't know, man. The way it moved didn't feel mechanical. I felt possessed. Possessed eyes. Sometimes strange people are around us without us even realizing it, just like during a UFC match when the crowd was fully focused on the fight. A woman in the audience suddenly caught everyone's attention. Her eyes began to glow in a way that felt completely unnatural, almost as if something else had taken over her body. Who she really was, or what was happening with her, no one could explain, and to this day, it remains a mystery. Faux hand. This strange clip of a Saudi official had been circulating online, and viewers couldn't help but notice something off. Look closely at his hand. Does it look real to you? It seemed misplaced, almost like it didn't belong to his body at all. Too stiff and almost like a prop. But why would he need an artificial hand? Some believed it was a reptilian disguise slipping for a moment, while others thought he was hiding something beneath it. Whatever the reason, that uncanny detail sent the internet spiraling with theories. So, what do you think was really going on here? Impostor Pope. This video will make you wonder who Pope Francis really was. He was captured, standing among a crowd with his hand on his face. You might expect him to rub his eyes or just run a hand through his hair. But what happened was so unexpected that it shocked everyone. Grabbing the skin of his nose, he pulled it, and the skin seemed to stretch, making his eyes appear hollow and sunken like the eye holes in a mask. Could an imposter have taken the place of the Pope? There's no telling, as the mystery remained unexplained. Possessed woman. What's the worst thing that can happen in a supermarket? Obviously a demonic possession. A very bizarre clip has been going around online, and people are calling it the strange demonic possession in China. It featured a woman going through a supermarket aisle, when suddenly she dropped everything and started moving in a very weird way, like her body was taken over by a demonic spirit. When people around her tried to help, it got worse. Netizens seem to believe the possession claims. However, some said that she might be suffering from a medical condition. Unfinished business.
Oh, kamusta ka na, Jane? No, napanood namin yung video mo na...
A TV show had taken a woman on video call who claimed to have experienced possession in the past. What seemed like an ordinary interview quickly spiraled into something otherworldly. The woman began acting strange, suddenly smiling in an unsettling way, before her eyes rolled back into her head. Moments later, she collapsed unconscious, forcing the host to cut the call abruptly.
Father, pakitignan lang po.
Jane, are you okay?
Father, pakiano
Tingin mo
lang.
rito, Father.
Father.
She had admitted earlier that she had undergone an exorcism in the past, but judging by this terrifying display, many believed the ritual hadn't been fully completed. To viewers, it looked as though something dark had never truly left her. Possessed bride. This clip had everyone horrified. During an Indian wedding, the bride suddenly burst into laughter, not shy or nervous, but loud and unsettling. At first, people thought she was just overwhelmed, but things quickly turned disturbing. She began shaking her head violently, her hair falling loose as her body jerked uncontrollably. Guests rushed to hold her down, but her strength seemed inhuman. Within seconds, her eyes rolled back, showing only the whites. Many insisted it wasn't an act. They believed it was a real possession caught on camera. Whether it was an evil spirit or something darker, no one could say for sure. Live possession. A live TV broadcast captured a scene that sent chills through the internet. During what appeared to be a protest, the speaker held the crowd's attention, but viewers noticed something disturbing in the background. A man standing behind him suddenly widened his eyes, revealing an eerie transformation. His pupils vanished, leaving stark white eyes with what seemed like slits. The unsettling moment sparked a wave of theories online. Some believed this was evidence of shapeshifters among us, while others claimed an evil spirit was possessing the guy, making him act that way. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments. Half animal. This eerie video has been making waves online, and not just for how bizarre it looks. A man stands quietly on the side of a road, but takes a closer look. One of his legs It's not human. The lower half appears to be that of a goat, complete with a hoof. The rest of him is fully human. Folks online were divided. Some called it CGI. Others weren't so quick to dismiss it, wondering if this was a shapeshifter caught mid-transformation, or something not human at all pretending to be. Whatever it was, the footage left people uneasy, still guessing. Rolled eyes.
Oh, it is? Yeah, what was saying?
These guys were casually talking to a woman out in public when something strange happened. Mid-conversation, her eyes suddenly rolled all the way back, leaving only the whites visible. For a brief moment, she looked completely possessed. The clip quickly went viral, leaving people divided. Some claimed it was a medical issue, while others insisted she wasn't entirely human. Whatever the case, that brief moment was enough to send chills down everyone's spine. What do you think? Possession or something far stranger? Window stalker. What would you do if something like that stared at you through your window at night? It looked human, but not quite.
You see this, right? You do see this, right?
Its eyes bulged, teeth jutted out, and its face seemed almost like a mask. The man filming was terrified as the figure stood completely still, staring straight at him without blinking. Social media users were torn. Some said it was a prank. Others claimed it wasn't human at all. The unease in the video was undeniable.
You see this, right?
You could hear the man calling for his friends, his voice shaking. If this was meant to be a joke, it was a deeply disturbing one. So, what do you think it was? Chilling possession. A young woman recording herself suddenly began acting in a way that was anything but human. She smiled eerily. Her eyes rolled back as if she were possessed by a demon. Her voice then shifted into something dark and unnatural. Speaking of revenge, glaring at strangers passing by, and even growling at the camera in a deep, chilling tone. Friends later confirmed she had not been under the influence of drugs or alcohol that night, though they admitted she had been acting strange before leaving early. Hours later, she posted this disturbing video. Many believe the devil inside her was using her beauty to lure victims. So the next time you see a woman alone at night, think twice before approaching. Headless meeting. This guy had to stay overnight at a hospital for treatment, but he got more than just medical care. Late into the night, he heard laughter echoing from outside his room. Curious and a bit unnerved, he peeked into the hallway, then quickly pulled out his phone to record. Two women in white nurse uniforms stood talking, but something was terribly wrong. They had no heads. The video went viral, with netizens split. Some believed these were spirits of nurses who'd once worked and passed away at the hospital. Others floated theories about bizarre experiments or illusions, but skeptics were firm. It had to be a hoax, maybe a prank involving clever costumes. Or was it? Cross reaction. This guy was spending the night at a hospital to care for a relative, but what he saw made him reconsider everything. Across the room, a man stood before a cross. But something was off. His movements were unnatural, and he was letting out inhuman noises that echoed down the hallway. It didn't look like pain from illness, more like something was fighting inside him. Some say he was possessed, and the presence of the cross was either burning the entity or triggering its rage. Whatever it was, the guy decided it was not the right time or place to say his prayers. Dark mystery. A guy driving at night was suddenly caught off guard by someone standing on the side of the road.
In reverse, there was somebody walking in that distance. It looks really, really sketchy.
It appeared to be a man, but his face looked off. Not quite human, almost like a mask, but with features too smooth and strange to place.
But they got like some weird mask or something.
The figure seemed to stare directly at the driver, sending chills down his spine.
What the Oh, what the
Netizens had theories. One joked he looked like a skin-colored Elmo. Others believed it had to be a mask. But why wear something like that in the middle of nowhere? With no further context and no one coming forward, the clip remained a mystery, and a creepy one at that. Campsite horror. A bizarre and unsettling encounter uploaded online left viewers horrified. According to the Post, a group had arrived at a campsite late at night when one of them suddenly began honking the car horn. Thinking it was a joke, the others turned to look, only to freeze. Perched on the car roof was a disheveled woman, silent and staring. Moments later, she began whispering, "Give me the kids," though there were no children present. When approached, she hissed, lunged, and belly flopped onto the ground before vanishing into the dark woods. Many called it a demonic possession or a breakdown, but whether real or staged, this eerie encounter is something they'll never forget.
We have to move because of this.
Haunting smile. A worried father shared CCTV footage of his daughter behaving in a way that left everyone disturbed. She had been sleeping peacefully in the living room when, without warning, she sat up straight. Then she began bobbing her head from side to side, an eerie smile slowly spreading across her face. The unsettling grin didn't fade. It only grew wider. Some viewers believed she was simply sleepwalking, though her movements seemed far too deliberate. Others were convinced this was something darker, claiming the girl might be possessed, and urging the father to seek help before it got worse. Whatever it was, the footage felt undeniably sinister. Bizarre figure. A strange video had been going viral for some time, showing a person in a red dress with features strikingly similar to Michael Jackson. The clip, reportedly filmed in India, left people stunned. Many claimed it was proof that the pop legend was still alive and living in hiding. The person was seen wandering the streets aimlessly. While some believed it was just someone dressed up for attention, others insisted there was something eerie about his behavior, even suggesting he might have been mentally unstable. Whatever the truth was, the uncanny resemblance kept the internet talking for days. Cursed elevator? Unsettling security footage uploaded online had left viewers shaken. A woman stood alone in an elevator when suddenly a man rushed in holding a stool. His movements were jerky, his expression panicked as he raised the stool like a weapon, defending himself from something unseen. The woman pressed into the corner, visibly terrified as the ride dragged on. At one point, the stool seemed to be yanked from his hands by an invisible force, though skeptics argued he threw it himself. When the doors opened, the man bolted, leaving the woman shaken but unharmed. Many compared the eerie clip to the infamous elevator game, a ritual said to open doorways to another dimension. Basement encounter. The person who filmed the video was a repairman working late in a dark basement somewhere in Norway. It was long past hours, and everyone else had gone home. That's when it happened. Out of nowhere, an old man appeared.
Hello?
Whistling an eerie tune, stumbling forward in the dim light. The footage quickly spread online, sparking endless theories. Many believed he was a homeless man seeking shelter from the freezing Norwegian night. Logical, maybe, but it didn't make it any less terrifying. Being confronted by a stranger in an empty basement was nightmare fuel on its own. The haunting whistle and his unsteady movements made the whole thing feel ripped straight from a horror film. Midnight encounter. Late at night, a small town was startled awake by strange noises outside. Curious residents rushed out with their phones and started recording. What they captured was deeply unsettling. A woman hanging from a tree, then suddenly dropping to the ground and rolling before crawling away on all fours. She eventually hid behind a bush, moving in an erratic, unnatural way. No one knew what had come over her to behave like that in the dead of night. Those who watched the footage online were divided. Some believed she was possessed, while others insisted she might have been homeless or suffering from a mental illness. Either way, it was deeply disturbing to witness. Invisible patient. A hospital surveillance camera captured something truly unsettling. In the footage, a staff member sat alone in an empty corridor. Everything seemed normal until he suddenly began talking to thin air, gesturing and even pointing down the hall as if giving someone directions. Moments later, when the nurse checked the floor, he realized there was no one there. Confused, he reviewed the footage and was horrified by what he saw. He swore he'd been speaking to a patient asking to leave the hospital, but according to records, no such patient existed. Viewers were left wondering, was he hallucinating or helping a ghost find their way out? Roadside entity. A man driving with his friend around the block had recorded something bizarre. They noticed a lone figure walking along the roadside, completely cloaked in black with long, straight hair flowing behind. The way he moved felt strange, too calm, too deliberate, especially dressed like that in broad daylight. But what truly unsettled viewers was his ear. It looked pointed and positioned farther back than a normal human's. Some claimed it was proof of a goblin caught on camera, while others believed it could have been a magician or something far older. Either way, the figure vanished soon after, leaving everyone guessing what they'd really seen. Triggered shapeshifter.
I'm on the phone with your police department right now. You can't pull me over with my car's off.
There are people who take pride in being patriotic watchdogs, holding authorities accountable for every mistake. But sometimes, things take an unexpected turn. A woman recently went viral after pulling up outside a police station, screaming at an officer for not ticketing a driver who failed to use his turn signal.
You can leave the scene without a turn signal. Give him a ticket.
You need to go to the...
I get a ticket. He can do whatever he wants.
Anything else we can help you with tonight?
Yeah, giving him a ticket.
Her outrage seemed intense, but what caught everyone's attention was her behavior. Her head kept twisting and jerking unnaturally, movements too sharp to ignore. Even the officer appeared concerned, asking if she needed an ambulance.
Do you need an ambulance?
He doesn't have a turn signal. Give him a ticket.
While some believed she was simply unstable, others swore her erratic motions looked like a shapeshifter struggling to hold its form. Midnight visitor. This terrifying clip has been making the rounds recently. A man heard his doorbell ring in the middle of the night, and when he opened the door, a sinister-looking woman stood on the other side.
Yo, you good, son?
I am. I told you I'm from Africa, Ethiopia.
Yeah, what you doing up here?
Because I think I was looking for you.
She looked like someone straight out of a horror movie, and even her voice sent chills down everyone's spine. When asked what she wanted, she eerily replied that she'd been looking for him.
What you looking for me for?
I like you.
You got the wrong door, man.
No,
Yeah.
I got the right person.
The man insisted she had the wrong house, but she kept repeating that he was the one she wanted. Many believed she had dark, sinister intentions. Honestly, most people said they would have slammed the door instantly. Invisible child. Out of all the bizarre videos online, this one definitely gave people chills. A CCTV camera recorded a security guard doing his nightly rounds near a row of shops when something strange happened. He suddenly gestured, calling someone over, but no one was there. Moments later, he bent down, talking as if giving directions to a child, yet the footage showed nothing beside him. He even pointed as someone who was giving directions would. After a brief exchange with the invisible presence, he casually walked away as if nothing had happened. When questioned later, the guard insisted he'd met a lost little girl asking for directions. But if that's true, then who or what was he really talking to? Witching hour. A man was walking home late at night when he stumbled upon a terrifying sight. Down the dimly lit street, a figure appeared, bent like an old woman, dressed in black from head to toe, wearing a dark hat and high-heeled boots. Something about her felt wrong. Her movements were slow, unnatural, almost rehearsed. The man froze, too afraid to go near her. When the clip surfaced online, viewers were quick to speculate. Some said she was mentally unstable, but others warned she could have been something far darker, a witch in disguise, trying to lure a kind stranger into danger. Whiteout glare. This video of Kamala Harris has been going viral, and not for the speech. Look closely at the background. The camera was focused on Harris, but just behind her, a person's eyes turned completely white. For a chilling second, they stayed that way. Then snapped back to normal, only for it to happen again. Was this possession caught on live TV? Many believed so. Others had a far darker theory, that the person wasn't possessed at all, but was controlling Harris, and might be something otherworldly in disguise.
We will re-elect to the United States Senate.
Zombie on board. This clip looks like a scene straight out of The Walking Dead. But nope, it's real. A woman casually sitting on a bus with her feet up. Nothing weird about that until you see the feet. Gnarly black claws instead of toenails. Skin gray and cracked, like it belonged to something not alive or undead. People online completely lost it. Some were convinced she was a witch in disguise. Others thought it was a werewolf mid-transformation, caught slipping in public. Of course, there were a few practical guesses, like a severe skin condition. But even then, it's hard to explain those claws. So what do you think? Creature? Curse? Or just a case of really bad pedicure neglect? Midnight possession. A terrified woman shared eerie Ring doorbell footage showing her younger sister leaving the house in the middle of the night. What caught everyone's attention was how she moved, her arms flailing unnaturally behind her. The woman claimed her sister never came back after that night. It had already been a week. Viewers flooded the comments with theories. Some were convinced she was possessed, while others believed both sisters had been experimenting with an Ouija board and unleashed something dark. Whatever the truth was, the girl's disappearance made the clip even more disturbing. Vampire Alley. A street surveillance camera captured something that looked straight out of myth. Two men were seen walking down a quiet alleyway. Nothing unusual, until the security guard reviewing the footage decided to zoom in. That's when things got strange. The figures had unusually long, pointed ears, dark, sunken eyes, and oddly elongated noses. Their appearance closely resembled the old-school depictions of vampires found in folklore and classic films. Some brushed it off as a Halloween prank or eerie masks, but others weren't so sure. Believers in the paranormal were quick to claim it as real evidence. Vampires, casually strolling among us, caught in a rare moment of carelessness. Real or not, the footage was haunting. Monastery possession. The footage was supposedly captured in the Ostrog Monastery in Montenegro. Take a look. According to the uploader, the video showed a woman who was brought to the monastery for alleged demonic possession. In the clip, filmed by a tourist, a guttural growl could be heard echoing in the open. Soon it became clear the sound was coming from a woman on her hands and knees, being led toward a flight of stairs. A netizen claimed she could even be heard yelling, speaking to Satan. The clip then cut to the woman hurling what looked like a chair. Founded in the 17th century, Ostrog remains a sacred site. But did this truly capture a possession? Evil grin. On a live TV show, the camera caught something unsettling in the audience. A woman sat quietly, nothing out of the ordinary, until she suddenly smiled in a way that felt disturbingly off. When the camera panned back to her, her eyes were rolled completely back, leaving only the whites visible. Viewers who later replayed the moment were quick to call it out, claiming the woman was possessed by an evil spirit, one that might have been mocking the host right there on stage. Invisible friend. On the 21st of October, 2021, a security guard in Spain was monitoring the park cameras around 11 p.m. That's when he saw this man talking to someone on the swing, yet no one was visible on the camera. At one point, one of the swings even started moving on its own. He carried on the conversation for 2 hours before leaving. When he returned the next night, the guard asked him who he'd been talking to. The man replied he had met a beautiful woman who invited him for a chat. When the guard showed him the footage, he realized he had spent hours talking to a ghost. Mysterious cloth. In another ritual clip from an African village, it starts off innocent enough, just a cloth lying flat on the ground. Totally ordinary, nothing weird, until the chanting begins. As the man circles it, singing loudly, the cloth starts to twitch, then rise, like something woke up underneath. But here's the thing. It was flat just seconds before. No bumps, no signs of life. People online went wild. Some say it's spiritual energy, others say dark magic, but no one can explain how it moved like that. We never see what's under it. And honestly, that might be a blessing. Some things are better left under wraps. Stretchy freak. We've all had those lazy moments, wishing we could just stretch our hand across the room for that glass of water. Well, this kid might have actually done it. In eerie home security footage, a boy was seen reaching for a glass on the dining table, except it was way too far. Then his arm stretched unnaturally long and grabbed it. Already creepy, right? But it got worse. In the next clip, he was on a bed, reaching underneath. His arm disappeared, then reappeared from the other side of the bed. Some folks online said he had a bizarre superpower. Others weren't so optimistic, calling it a sign of demonic possession. No stretch of the imagination could explain that. Still want that superpower? Fire spirit. A local was filming a house fire. The family had evacuated safely, but what caught him off guard was that the building wasn't entirely empty. A figure seemed to appear on the rooftop, right in the middle of the flames. Surely no human could survive that. As the footage spread online, people were left divided. Some believed it was the spirit of someone still trapped inside, leaving this world in their final moments. Others were convinced it was something darker, an evil presence that had lived in the house and was only now stepping out into the open. The ritual. There's no known time for creepy stuff to happen. This guy came across this disturbing scene. The location is still unknown.
Okay, that's weird.
Apparently, he saw 4 people leaning back and staring at the sky, and it seemed 2 of the guys were headless. Netizens took it upon themselves and tried to figure out what was happening. Some thought it looked like they were performing some kind of a ritual, while others suspected they might be on drugs. Whatever the case, it's definitely a creepy sight to encounter on your way home. I think the guy should consider taking a different route home next time. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.